Overflows.
Memory and process of transformation. Memory is neutral in nature, however, it plays an important role in life both in negative and creative ways. More so, memory can play a significant role in the process of transformation. Remember, when negative aspect of memory surfaces, two directions are available. You can use negativities as a stepping stone and reach the other side. This is creative and transformative in nature. It always depends on your level of unconsciousness and consciousness at the moment. Memory is like poison in the hands of an unconscious one. Memory becomes destructive, while in the hands of conscious one, memory becomes nectar and a creative force in the process of transformation. The moment your presence becomes source of bliss in your surroundings and creates a wave of bliss in someone's life, your life has blossomed as light. The moment your presence is capable of reducing the pain in the life of someone, your life has blossomed. A spring of bliss surrounds you. Indeed, such a person is religious, not the churchgoer, not the one praying several times a day, but his presence is unable to create ripples of bliss and inspiration in any way. Wandering as a boy of 8, Shankar met Govind Pad Acharya in Himalayan mountains. On inquiring his identity, "Who are you?" 8-year-old Shankar composed Nirvan Shatkam. And the first sutra explains that in the process of transformation, identification with 4 dimensions of mind has to be abandoned. Shankar severed all identifications with mind, intellect, ego sense, and a storehouse of memory. Severing any identification with the attributes of the mind, Shankar confirms his understanding with existential energy field. Shankar confirms Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, my form is eternal. The following 5 sutras continue to explain Shankar's disidentification with life and living processes. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjun about his and Arjun's previous births. Although Bhagavad Gita is a silent communion between Krishna and Arjun, yet Vedavyas, the seer poet, gave the entire communion a poetic expression. In a way, poetic expression is unique and appealing. In another way, it misses certain most intimate nuances of human relation. Language can be used in usual intimate way, whereas in silent communion, nothing is asked, nothing is said, yet everything that is heard becomes deep understanding. Such is the way of Upanishads. The communion between Tao and the author is of that nature. However, the book Life, Love and Light is the poetic expression of that silent communion, and thus grows deep within you and evolves out of you as your fragrance. In the first sutra of chapter 4, Krishna tells Arjun, I taught this eternal science of yoga to sun god Vivashwan, who passed it on to Manu, and from Manu in turn it came down to Ikshvaku. This is how the secret wisdom descended. Remember, merely imparting invaluable wisdom to someone is not enough. The one to whom this is being imparted must appreciate its value and have faith in its authenticity. One then, only then, that person will put in efforts required to implement it practically in life. In this verse, Krishna establishes the credibility and importance of the spiritual wisdom he is bestowing on Arjuna. Krishna informs Arjuna that the knowledge being imparted unto him is not new, simply created to motivate him into battle, whatsoever role one is ordained to perform in life. Such is the situation with each one of us as we are in constant battle of inner conflict. Krishna sowed the seed of transformation and also showed us the way. Do all you are destined, explore your hidden, unexplored potentiality, but never bother about its fruits. It is in the same eternal science of yoga, it is the same eternal science of yoga that he originally taught to Vivashwan and the Surya god, and who imparted it to Manu, the original progenitor of humankind. Manu in turn taught it to Ikshvaku, first king of the solar dynasty. This is the descending process of awakening, whereas someone who is complete authority on the wisdom passes it down to another who wishes to know. An awakened one passes it to the deserving one. Such wisdom is misused in the hands of the undeserving one. This process of transfer is easiest as composed to the ascending process of acquiring knowledge, which is arduous. Herein one endeavors to enhance the frontiers of understanding through self-effort. The ascending process is always arduous, imperfect, and time-consuming. For example, if you wish to learn physics, you can either try to do it by ascending process, where you speculate about the principles with your own intellect and then reach conclusions, or you could do it by the descending process, where you approach a good teacher of the subject. The ascending process is exceedingly time consuming, and you may not even be able to complete the inquiry in your lifetime. You can also not be sure about the validity of your conclusions. In comparison, the descending process gives you instant access to the deepest secrets of physics. If your teacher has total knowledge of physics, then it is very straightforward. Simply listen to the science from him and digest what he says. This descending process of receiving knowledge is both easy and faultless. God and individual souls are both eternal, and so the science of yoga that unites soul and God is also eternal. There is no need to speculate and formulate new theories about it. An amazing endorsement of this truth is Bhagavad Gita. Indeed, the message of Bhagavad Gita continues to surprise us with the sagacity of its perennial wisdom that remains relevant to our daily lives even 50 centuries after it was first spoken. Krishna states the knowledge of yoga, which he is revealing to Arjuna, is eternal, and it has been passed down in ancient times through the descending process from guru to teacher. Heart-to-heart communion. Arjuna doubts Krishna as he cannot see his formless nature or formlessness through his form. Such is the situation of each one of us who has not yet realized the eternal nature. and considers waves separate from the ocean. Krishna explains about his and Arjun's previous births in Sutra 5 of chapter 4. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tab charjun. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tab charjuna. Tanye ham ved sarvani natam ved parantapa. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tab charjuna. Tanyaham ved sarvani natam ved parantapa. Both you and I have many births before. You have forgotten as the natural process of birth. Unless one attains to awakening at birth, there comes a discontinuity with the previous memory. It is like the computer is reset to original factory settings before it is to be resold as refurbished unit. So you as an individual come into life as a refurbished unit whose memory is reset to original setting, and you do not remember your past life. Krishna as awakened consciousness explains, although he is standing in front of Arjun as a form, indeed he is the confluence of form and formless. He is formless in the garb of form. Truth, the eternal, can only be realized when one transcends the form and lives guided by the consciousness beyond duality. Like anyone else, Arjun is living in his own self-created prison cell of ignorance, egocentric identity and memory. Two persons may be standing facing each other, may look similar and identical in many ways, but their level of understanding or intelligence or status or awakening may differ significantly. This is what happens when you come in the company of an awakened one. Krishna and Arjun both are contemporary to one another, but there is a significant difference between their inner state. It is like two persons meeting on a crossroad, but both are facing opposite directions. One is coming out of the university campus as a professor, and the other is entering the university campus to register in the master's program. Krishna is like the Minister of National Security, under whose prison service of the country comes. As Minister of National Security, he visits the prison to see the prison conditions and other facilities. He visits a prison cell and enters the conversation with the prisoner who is the inhabitant of that cell, and is explaining deplorable condition of the cell, and someone who sees both standing together in the prison cell may erroneously consider both as prisoners. Such is the situation of Arjun as Krishna explains him the secret wisdom he first shared with the sun god. Such is the state of Krishna who again and again in different times and roles visits this earth as enlightened ones. Sometimes at Gautam Buddha, Mahabir, Jesus, Ram Krishna, etc. But Krishna is consciously aware of his eternal formless nature and qualities, while Arjun is not, but sincerely aspires to reach that state first and then live life guided by that consciousness. Such is the situation of each one of us, and more so, this was the state of the author when she approached. There was a deep sincerity in understanding the innermost wisdom to transform her life and live life guided by consciousness. Enough for now.